All right, Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And of course, it is time to discuss the ladies from Married to Medicine. Okay. It is season 9, episode 6. It is Viva Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas. The ladies are still in Vegas. All right. So let's talk about this episode in general. I don't think I realized, based on the previews from last week, that we would be, or did I realize this, that we would be getting the Dr. Heavenly versus Dr. Contessa screaming match that we did get. But overall, I think I'm going to give this episode a solid 9. Okay. Now, I want you guys to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, and just as I've rated it on a scale of 1 to 10. And let me tell you why I give it a 9. I am giving this a 9 because I felt like it was a good, fun episode. I think that sometimes you need an episode that fires on all cylinders, right? There weren't really many emotional moments in this episode, and I don't think that there needed to be any emotional episodes in this any emotional moments in this episode because we're on a girls' trip, okay? We're in Vegas, and what do you do in Vegas? You live it up, and the ladies definitely lived it up. So I would say that I had fun this episode. I honestly laughed a lot this episode. I laughed more than I thought that I would. Okay, so that's another reason why I was going to give it why I give it a 9. And we got this whole showdown that we had seen in the trailer between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. Okay, so that's my rating. You guys let me know what you think in the chat down below. Let's get into it. The ladies are still playing Never Have I Ever. And Dr. Jackie is really just kind of ready for them to get on up out of there. And it's time to get ready for dinner. Dr. Contessa is ready to free herself, okay, to be whoever she is thinking she is trying to be with this candy colored coated wig, okay? No word on whether or not it was from Heavenly Beauty Supply Store or not, but it would be nice if it was. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Toya is ready to pretend like she's single for the night. How do y'all feel about stuff like that? When you go on like a girl's trip or a guy's trip, do you like to feel like, you single? Do you feel like you need to feel like, oh, yes, I'm wild, loose, and free? Like, I don't know. Just let me know in the chat how you feel about that. At dinner, they're waiting on Quad. Carrie is ready to cheers just as Quad arrives. And, they talk about potentially going to the strip club, but just not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Because they're going to pretend like tomorrow they don't have no husbands. Out of the blue, like straight up out of the blue, okay, Jackie breaks out the whip, okay, and she slams it across the table. And she's like, I got to get y'all ready for tonight's festivities. And Anila asks, well, do y'all want to take a shot? And Jackie says, yes, you might need a shot of penicillin. Quad, okay, because the STDs and the STIs are floating around the Atlanta. And Quad is like, no, don't you try it, Jackie. I practice is the safeness, okay? Quad asks if, I don't know if this was to get Jackie back, but Quad asks, well, Jackie, what's going on with these money signs that you got blinged out on your jacket? Did somebody make that for you? Okay, because usually you real quiet about your money, but tonight it's screaming loudly. So Dr. Heavenly says, well, I think everybody here is rather successful. Audra jumps in and says, well, Toya, apparently you don't think I'm a good lawyer. Toya's like, uh-oh, here we go. And Anila in her confession is like, Audra just got to learn that Toya just be talking and don't really know what she be saying half the time. Meanwhile, Audra says, well, you said it, and I don't F about my career. I'm African, and I do not play about my career, okay? And so Toya was saying, all I was asking you to do was use your law degree. Audra says, all I was asking you to do was to use your critical thinking skills. Do you have those? Okay. Quad tries to tell Toya, listen, you can't be coming for nobody's career, okay? Toya asks Audra, are you angry? Okay, are you angry? Her point was that she was making a joke. Quad's point to Toya was, you don't know her like that, okay? And Audra promptly let her know, don't play with me. I'm not the one. So Dr. Jackie takes them to the freak store, okay? And I don't know if it's really called the freak store or not, but they got plenty of toys and things that you can put into, whatever. It's a toy for whatever opening you feel like you want to use the toy for, okay? All kinds of toys for you. Vibrating toys, toys that talk to you while you're sleeping, whisper sweet nothings in your ears, all types of toys. Any toy you can imagine. Heavenly says she wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Jackie had her own Pornhub channel, the Jackie Hub. Anyway, they get to a presentation of toys and whatnot, and apparently we learned that Toya and Anila are showerhead girls, okay? Why do I know this? Why do I know this? I don't want to be knowing these types of things about these ladies now, okay? But I know that they like the shower heads. They get to talking about the tantra and holding the big O, for like 3 or 4 days. And I'm kind of with you, Dr. Heavenly, on that one. Why are we holding this for 3 to 4 days? Go ahead and do it. Bust it down. Let it happen, okay? Anyway. There was a moment here, I forgot all about it, where it was. But Dr. Jackie get to talking about um uh, about kissing on on the man's nipples and things like that, and it just had me screaming. I can't remember when she was talking about it, but when we get to it, if I'm too early, because it just sticks out in my mind. Meanwhile, the next day, Simone gets coffee for Toya and Carrie. So we learn that Toya and Carrie is in the same room. They recap the evening, and suddenly Toya can't even remember Audra's name. She thinks the child's name is Deidre. Simone tells them that, listen, when you're joking and jabbing, and we don't always know how another person's gonna take it. In her confessional, she mentions that it was kind of like the joke that Anila and Kieran played on Toya and Eugene, but Toya don't really seem to get that right now. But she tells Toya, listen, if you want to get to know Audra, I encourage you to get to know her. Otherwise, call her Deirdre to her face and see what happens. Okay. They show the men at home with the kids. Bleh. Anyway, meanwhile, it's Simone's day and it's time for brunch. Her day is about fun and the turn up, okay? They cheers to new beginnings and starting over, and it's sangria for everybody. I don't like no sangria, y'all. I ain't really a wine person unless I'm going to a wine tasting. But to me, sangria, it's supposed to have what in it? Brandy. And I notice a lot of people don't be making the stuff with the brandy no more. You know what I'm saying? And so they like to give you this all this type of sangria with just the wine in it and some fruit. What is that gonna do? How is that gonna take me to the next level that I'm trying to get to when I'm at a brunch? I mean, you better throw me some mimosas over here, some shots or something. Meanwhile, but forget about the sangria. I'm with Toya. Where is the bacon? Okay, if it ain't no brunch, if it ain't no bacon at the brunch, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, why are we even here if there ain't no crispy bacon at the brunch, baby? Toya, I was with you all the way down about that bacon, baby. Meanwhile, Dr. Contessa is like, her diet be damned because, and y'all know I don't even curse, but that's what Contessa was like. She was like, I do not care about this fitness competition. I'm eating and drinking whatever I want. So, Dr. Heavenly mentions that Dr. Simone got a book coming out, and, she talks about, what the book is about, coming back from the brink of divorce. Dr. Simone mentions that, she was really leaning heavily on Dr. Heavenly during her darkest times when she was considering divorce, and that Dr. Heavenly would really tell her when she was being crazy. And Dr. Heavenly, I noticed that she gets in a dig and she says, well, at least you listen. Okay. Dr. Heavenly says, pick and choose your battles. If it ain't something that's detrimental to the marriage, go on and let him have it, because she says that women typically get what they want most of the time anyway. Toya even agrees that that's one of the first pieces of advice that she got when she got married, was to pick and choose your battles. Jackie says, yes, arguing with someone is just making two fools look like they arguing together. And then she says, relations is the best time to have a after relations is the best time to have a deep conversation anyway, to get what you want. She says, go ahead, girl, and kiss that nipple and get what you want. I screamed, okay? I ain't gonna even say why I screamed when she said it, but I was like, Dr. Jackie, you be knowing what you talking about. No wonder you get paid the big bucks and do what you do. Because I was like, Dr. Jackie, you done learned some things, okay? That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. Anyway, they get to talking about having, people in your circle, in your business, and Dr. Contessa feels like she don't want all the people in her business no more. Basically, Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa are shading each other down right in the second. Dr. Heavenly says she don't care what people say about her man, and Dr. Simone throws fuel onto the fire and says, well, what Dr. Contessa is saying to you is don't make up ish about her man. Dr. Heavenly is like, she put all that mess out there. Nobody made anything up. And the flashback does show Dr. Contessa revealing all of her issues in her marriage last season. So then Dr. Simone says, well, when you hear your girlfriend repeating something that you said, it's going to be some kind of ish. Basically referring to Dr. Heavenly, talking about Dr. Contessa on her YouTube, okay? At this point, Dr. Heavenly gets mad and she gets up and she tells it like it is. If I don't want nobody talking about my marriage, then I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to put my mess out there. And she says, everybody here talks about everybody else. Okay. As she is screaming this, there is a girl in the back with her iPhone. The girl got her iPhone up, basically recording the whole conversation. Dr. Heavenly screaming, okay? But young Miss Ma'am in the background got the iPhone out. Let me tell y'all something. I was cracking up at this, okay? I was cracking up. I need a visual. I need the visual of it, baby. I need the visual of homegirl in the back. Hold on. I gotta pull it up for y'all. Queens of Bravo had me rolling this morning. Me, I hate drama. Also, me watching the drama. Okay. Listen. Oh my God, it was so funny. Dr. Jackie just sitting there watching this argument. Toya just sitting there watching this argument, eating her bacon. It was one of those situations where I paid less attention to the two people arguing and screaming back and forth at each other, and I was cracking up at everybody else's reactions. Dr. Jackie's sitting there looking calm as look. I think she said that Dr. Heavenly needed a premenopausal shot in the neck. And Toya just sitting there eating that bacon like it was the best thing ever. Meanwhile, I don't even know if Carrie knew that our argument was happening. Okay, like it was wild to me because they was going at it. They screaming and cursing each other out. They pulling Dr. Heavenly, Anila and Audra pulling Dr. Heavenly one way. Simone and Quad are pulling Dr. Contessa the other way. And I'm just I was just thinking about this young lady in the background as she is filming this whole thing. So the argument didn't even have as much impact as I thought it would because I kept paying attention to what everybody else was doing. Meanwhile, Audra and Anila takes Dr. Heavenly out to go get some drinks and whatnot. Dr. Contessa needs to pray. And in this moment of prayer is when I really it just hit me that Carrie, what are you doing here? The girls are praying. Carrie is still sitting there eating her meal while the girls are praying for Contessa in the background. Then mid-prayer, Carrie, not a care in the world, gets up from the table and breezes on out of there. And I'm like, why is this lady here? If you at least be participatory in the drama if you're gonna be here. Like you watch the fight go down. Okay, that's fine because Toya and Dr. Jackie watched it go down too without nary a movement. But at least participate in the word of prayer, or maybe I don't know what your religion is and whatnot, but give me something in the background, right? Give me something in the back. Don't just sit there and lead the scene. You got to be active. At least give me a facial expression, eat funny, do something. But to just kind of sit there, it just kind of made me think, why is this lady, why is she here, Ike? I don't know. Anyway, Toya does make an accurate assessment about the group in that sometimes the group needs to get down to the truth of what is really irking each of the ladies and really have a conversation and a ponderosa that sometimes takes it to an ugly place, but can also reveal truths that will allow them to get over the hump and into a better spot. Meanwhile, as the group leaves, they head out to the pink limousine, but Dr. Simone doesn't want to leave Dr. Heavenly and that group behind. So she calls them and they finally get in touch with Dr. Heavenly. And it's time for everybody to jump in the pink limo and have a good time and go ziplining. Now, while they are ziplining, okay, Toya is screaming how she's not feeling it and crying and things, but they gets through it all and they does it. But what I really want to talk to y'all about is that Toya finally reveals on the Watch What Happens Live exactly why she chose to move from her multi-million-dollar mansion. If that's, was it multi-million? I don't know. And in case you did not know, we have finally found out the answers according to Toya about why she moved. Okay. Now, apparently, part of the reason was the great investments that the people was making when they were selling their homes in the neighborhood. That was one reason. And then apparently it was moving to be closer to the kids' school and then not being closer to the kids' school. I'm like, well, did the school up and move? Please let me know. I don't know. And then she said the final reason was that she was getting the demonic mail in the mailbox. Okay. Yes, indeed. She was getting the poltergeist in the mail. I said, what? Some people said it gets the hate mail, right? Not Toya. Oh no. She is getting the Marlena from Days of Our Lives possessed mail in the mailbox. Okay. They are sending her the poltergeist in via the mail. So she had to hightail it up out of that community and find her a place that's got an elevator. So when the poltergeist comes, she can take the elevator to the top floor and be closer to heaven. Okay. That is basically what she said on Watch What Happens Live. I kid you not. I am not lying to you. Okay. She said it was the demonic mail in the mailbox, okay? I said, well, if somebody don't get why don't you just get a pastor over and pray over the mailbox? You know what I'm saying? Have somebody deliver the mailbox from the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Have somebody come pray and anoint the mailbox with some water from the church house. You know what I mean? It's probably got to be something simpler to it than just, then you got to pack up your whole house and move. Okay. Although I guess maybe if the house was haunted or whatever, you felt like some spirits was there, that would be cause to move. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. You guys let me know. Have you guys ever found yourself facing down a poltergeist in your mailbox? Please let us know in the chat down below, because I'm just trying to figure it all out for myself. I mean, let us all send the word of prayer over to Toya and pray over her future mails and future mailboxes and things like that, because we don't want her to be running from the poltergeist for the rest of her life. So meanwhile, that's all we got for this video. I'm done for the day. I ain't got no more energy left. the foolishness done taking me over today, and I got to go. Y'all know I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next. You know what? We're gonna dance our way on out of here today again.